Pelicans trade up on the second day of the NBA draft and select Antonio Reeves, guard out of Kentucky. Absolutely love this pick. Let's talk about it with Chaz.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. Make sure you smash that like button and obviously subscribe to the channel. So the Pelicans have a second round pick. They trade with the Orlando Magic for 2 futures and they land on Antonio Reeves. So real quick, Chaz, Antonio Reeves, 5-year guy in college. So 3 years at Illinois State, then 2 years under Calipari at Kentucky. Let me read you what he did his senior year. Averaged 20.2 points per game, shot 44.7% from deep on 5.5 attempts from deep, also 51.2% from the field on 14 field goal attempts, and shot 87% from the free throw line. Look, it's a day 2 pick. It's a second round pick. I'm not saying this guy's going to be, change the franchise, but what I do like about this, Chaz, is we know how depleted the bench is, right? With Najee Marshall possibly leaving, there's a lot of guys, there is really no bench right now. You have 8 or 9 guys signed to contracts. I like this guy. I think he can come in and play day 1. And you asked me, how's his defense? I don't really care about defense. I need scoring off the bench. This kid can score. Here's one more stat for you. He converted 45.8% of his catch and shoot threes this past season on 153 attempts with an extremely quick release. Love that. Next to Zion Williamson. What are your thoughts?
In theory, I like it. I like Kentucky guards. It kind of takes away a bit of the sting from the Collier situation. It makes you wonder if they probably anticipated this guy would be available, and that's why they chose to pass on Collier. It makes you wonder. I like it in theory, man, but I just, it's kind of like the Jordan Hawkins thing with me, where it's like, okay, you got another guard. What happens with Jose? What happens with Dyson? What happens with Jordan Hawkins? Where does this young man play? You know what I'm saying? What happens with even a guy like Man Round's more of a 3, but what happens with Jordan Hawkins and Dyson and Jose? So to me, them take, and you got Sebring, like you signed a Sebring. You got you know what I'm saying? So I've seen
like now that you're listing these players, like it's like, okay, yeah, it's interesting, right? But it makes you wonder, okay, so is this, someone tweeted, is this a Najee replacement, or what are you gonna do with Dyson? There's still a lot of moves to be made. Obviously, I was still upset about the Missy pick last night. I still am, but whatever, I'm over it as a fan. Like, it's okay. Day 2, though, I think this is an interesting pick because Chaz, one of the things with him is that he's one of the older guys in the draft. I think he's 23 or 24 years old. In a draft that's taken, 19, 20-year-olds. The Pelicans, I will give them this credit. They usually hit on 4-year guys. Najee Marshall, 4-year guy. Herb Jones, 4-year guy. Trey Murphy, 3-year guy. Like, I actually, personally, if we're not looking for a project, I like a 4-year guy. He can come in. I think he can play day 1. He knows how to play basketball. He's not really a project. Off-screen offense, like, let's talk about this, is that he's also shown potential as a driver. We know he can catch and shoot. He was in the 77th percentile in points per possession and off-screen possessions this past season. So it makes you wonder, like, could you pair up, this guy with Jordan Hawkins and have 2 shooters around Zion Williamson? There's a lot of potential here. Like, I didn't think they would make a move into day 2. I know they had talked about it, but I really like this pick.
Seems to have a little bit. I haven't done my due diligence on just yet, but it seems to have a bit of on-ball skills from what I have seen. And again, I like the idea of Zion flanked by that guy, by Reeves, by Hawkins, by Trey Murphy. I like the idea of it. I just, it's one of those things, kind of like even with the Missy thing. It's like, okay, it's a cool, it's interesting. What's the next step? Like, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's gonna bring everything whole, because in the event that you potentially run it back, I'm gonna be a little bit disheartened if this guy has to go to Birmingham. I kind of want to see, especially an upperclassman from Kentucky. This is the second guy from a great program you brought in, Hawkins being the other one. This people coming from these great programs that produce like this winning caliber players. I I would just like to see him get a fair shake in real game time. And you playing with Zion Williamson is going to elevate you. Like, you're going to get a ton of wide open looks, much like Hawkins. You playing with a guy like that is going to elevate you. It's just, you have to clear the runway for these guys to be elevated. And I don't know what that entails.
Right. That's the thing. So the last thing we'll talk about is defense, right? So 6'5" undersized guard. I wouldn't say I mean, I guess a little undersized. So kind of a scouting report.
Is he a 1 or a 2 or a combo guard?
A combo. He's definitely not a 1. But he's shown flash of lateral quickness on ball defensively. But they talk about his size and he struggles to contain strong drivers at times. Once again, though, I'm not looking for this guy to be, this all perennial NBA defender. Can he just be average defensively? I think he can. I personally think he can, but all I know, Chaz, is that this dude can score the basketball. His job is not to play defense. His job is to be a microwave scorer coming off the bench. Can you give me a quick 10 to 12 points, flip a switch kind of game? And I think he can provide that. I was pretty negative last night. I was pretty negative last night. I'm very positive tonight about this pick. I really like it.
I'm with you. I just think about
how will he be used is the question.
Yeah, that is like, will he be used at all? And right. I remember last draft we drafted Jordan Hawkins. The first question I said was, can he defend? Can he rebound? What does he do? And
why do you ask those questions? Because
he's not going to play.
Right. Well, we'll see, because there might be a point where Antonio Reeves has to play. So make sure you smash that like button. I know Lito and Chris are going tonight and doing a live show of a film breakdown.
I like the pick though, man. Kentucky guards, man. Get them in the building. Get these good program guys in the building. Man.
Do you remember the last Kentucky guard we missed out on was Tyrese Maxey, and he's just going absolutely insane.
Yeah, so I remember.
There's that. So Antonio Reeves, welcome to New Orleans. Make sure you smash that like button. We'll see y'all later.